Human Torch, the peak or ban hero, high elo monster, and the most banned hero in Ignite Pro Play. All of this makes it hard to believe that back in Season 1.5, when he first released, the whole community was convinced he was F tier and worse than Black Widow. And yet surprisingly, if you ask anyone who played Torch before Season 2 buffs, they will tell you that he was pretty good even back then. I decided to make this video when I found that 2-minute clip from my ranked game in Season 1.5 and realized just how much we lost. The whole animation cancel debate and constant changes of his playstyle made me forget what truly made this human fire to play. The first thing that is very noticeable in this clip, if you play any Torch at all, is how slow his primary fire projectiles are. One of the main problems Torch had on release was his primary fire projectile speed. Projectiles specifically. Primary fire speed itself was fine, but his projectiles were painfully slow. However, slow primary fire wasn't as big of an issue since it was rarely used due to the fast cooldown on Flame Field. The cooldown is so fast you can fire 4 Flame Fields without the need to stop and set up a square Pyro Prison really quickly. Even a Pyro Prison with 5 Flame Fields, which is pretty much impossible to do now. This creates a gameplay loop of area denial with occasional calculated shots with your primary. If done right, you never even have to reload. Another thing that I immediately noticed in this clip is his ult's damage. It's awful. A buff to his ult's damage is really the only thing he desperately needed. And you know what? Mid-season patch in Season 1.5 fixed it. His ult became a significant threat and now his primary fire got buffed to his current speed. The hero is basically perfected. So, where did it all go wrong? Mid-season patches usually get ignored a lot, and people still assume that Torch was bad. Because of that, NetEase decided that he still needs further buffs. In Season 2, Torch actually didn't receive as many buffs as people think. The only changes he got were the increase to his primary attack interval and a massive buff to his Flaming Meteor, which in my opinion is the main issue. Flaming Meteor was already a great ability which is capable of one-shotting Luna in her ult with the right setup. But now, it also grants him good survivability. Using Flaming Meteor before this patch was the most glass cannon thing ever. Deals massive damage, but forces Torch into a very vulnerable situation which sometimes may mean guaranteed death. Season 2 was the first season where Torch started getting permaban. I believe that there is multiple reasons for this. First of all, he was a little overtuned, yes. And by a little, I mean specifically the Flaming Meteor buffs with extra HP. This buff allows him to survive his main counters like Spider-Man and his combo, escape to safety and basically have extra HP on demand. But the buffs themselves are not the only thing that got him banned. When mid-season patch in Season 1.5 came out, nobody, and by nobody I mean streamers and content creators, bothered to check Torch. So his mid-season buffs in 1.5 were noticed by most of the community only in Season 2. Suddenly, an F-tier hero is an S-tier hero with what felt like an insane amount of buffs. All Torch players who know how to play him really good or running lobbies, nobody knows how to counter him since he was rarely played in the past, and now he's either banned or played by a really good Torch player, which makes it even harder to understand how to counter him, leading to more bans and less chances of learning how to play against him since permabanning is easier. People learn how to read and realize that Torch's Flaming Meteor can actually one-shot people, and I kid you not, I remember seeing videos of people claiming this only got added in Season 2. Can you imagine how crazy it sounds for someone who actually believed in it? That they suddenly gave him the ability to one-shot Luna out of her ult. Every single streamer started farming content on how busted Torch is, and suddenly the worst hero in the game became the strongest hero ever. All of this happened extremely fast and was very overwhelming, but it only gets worse. Season 2.5 decides to change Torch entirely, and I mean entirely. For some reason, the developers decided to keep survivability on the most glass cannon ability in the game and just increased its cooldown. Primary attack got a significant nerf, which I think was needed to force Torch into a more area denial playstyle, but this becomes irrelevant when you nerf his fucking area denial tool. This fucking line of text is the worst thing that ever happened to Human Torch ever. Increased cooldown on Blazing Blast was a massive playstyle change. Torch stopped focusing on area denial as much, and I was personally thinking of dropping the character after this nerf. His kit was very fluid, and each ability worked so well with each other. Instead of nerfing his numbers a little to make him less oppressive, Torch straight up can't use his abilities now and has super long cooldowns on everything. His kit just started to feel very clunky. Little did I know that this change will be the main cause of what people hate about him now. The rise of animation cancel tech. This tech existed even before the nerfs, but it wasn't popular and Human Torch didn't really need it that much since he had a more fun and simpler playstyle. Now that flame fields are 3 fucking seconds on cooldown, Torch is forced to use his primary a lot. And his primary is basically a shotgun, which means he has to be up close to his enemies to actually deal significant damage. His survivability, on the other hand, relies on him being far away from his opponent or at least at medium distance away. He doesn't work up close simply because he's a flyer, who are incredibly predictable in their movement. Players went on the internet and spent hours in practice range in search of a solution, and this is how animation cancel technique became so popular, because this was the only way to make Torch fun to play again. So did it really all go wrong here? Yes! So how can Torch be nerfed without being nerfed to oblivion and still be fun? First of all, bring back the old cooldowns on Flame Field and Flaming Meteor. Let the man use his abilities, goddammit. Remove all of the shields from Flaming Meteor. It's a glass cannon ability after all. Shorter cooldowns with no shields is much better, 12 or 15 seconds is fine. Remove or adjust the animation cancelling tech. Although I think the animation cancelling tech is really strong, I also think it's good for skill expression. Because of that, here are 2 solutions I can see working well without the need to outright remove the cancel. Either make it so that you can't melee while using Plasma Body, so Torch doesn't move around as much with the tech, or remove the reload on melee, so that the tech still exists but can be used infinitely and Torch still has to manage his ammo. Or even implement both of these changes instead of outright removing the tech. I don't even know how you can remove it, it's just pressing melee after firing. And that's really it. Address the massive abuse of animation cancel tech, but keep it in some way for skill expression. Bring back the old cooldowns so the character is fluid again and can focus on area denial more, and remove the damn shields from a glass cannon ability. Wow, that's a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like this video if you found this helpful or entertaining. Subscribe for more Rivals content, and I'll see you all later.